Get ready for fabulous fashion, big dreams, and even bigger laughs as we dive into 1997's cult classic BAPS. Welcome to the No More Late Fee podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jackie, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we're heading to Beverly Hills with BAPS, a movie that gives us comedy, heart, and iconic hairstyles. But before we dive in, let's do some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here are a few ways that you can.
Loving the podcast? Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or rate us on Spotify. Your feedback helps us grow and keeps the nostalgia alive.
Want to relive the 90s and early 2000s? Check out our Amazon store for movie-inspired gift ideas, nostalgic finds, and everything you need for the ultimate throwback night. Visit us at amazon.com/shop/no more late fees podcast.
And we're always looking for new besties, so head over to our Patreon for exclusive perks, behind the scenes content, and bonus episodes. Just go to patreon.com/no more late fees. We are waiting for you as we speak.
And this week, we're so excited to have our pal Stephanie back on the show.
Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi.
It's so good to have you back.
Yeah.
As a refresher, you guys, Stephanie is one of Jackie's ex-teacher pals, also just a good friend. I'm really excited because I got to meet her before she headed to the West Coast, and we had a good time when you were here last time.
Yeah.
So I wish we could do Selena's. Yeah, I can't wait. If you want to learn more about Stephanie, check out her Selena episode and this week's bonus episode where we rank our favorite 90s BAPS. But speaking of BAPS, Jackie, what is this movie about?
BAPS follows Nisi, played by Halle Berry, and Mickey, played by Natalie Desselle, two best friends from Atlanta who dream of opening their own soul food restaurant/salon. Their journey takes an unexpected turn when they head to Beverly Hills to audition for a music video, only to end up caretakers for a wealthy elderly man. Full of hilarious mishaps, heartwarming moments, and over-the-top fashion, this movie is a must-watch. It stars Halle Berry, Natalie Desselle, Martin Landau, and Ian Richardson. It was directed by Robert Townsend. It was written by Troy Bayer. You can currently rent it on Amazon for $3.99. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves would agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
Best would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again.
2-day rental,
It's okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same-day rental.
Trash, straight up scheming nephew trash.
All right, Steph, what is your Y2K rating?
I did not own this film, but it was definitely one that when it came on, I wanted to watch it. I just thought it was so funny and goofy. So I would probably, my Y2K self would give it a 5-day rental.
Jackie?
I have never seen this movie.
Oh, wow. You haven't been, yeah, haven't lived. I would say I'm right there with you, Stephanie. I did not have this one, but when it used to come on like HBO all the time, it just was
Mm-hmm.
like it's a black classic, so just watched it a lot. I know a lot of people thought it was corny. This movie got a lot of flack, and we'll get into that, but when I was little, I was just like, I loved it. I loved their outfits. I love that they were matching outfits. I was like, I want to have friends that we can wear like variations of our outfits. I just thought that was cool. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely a 5-day rental for me. All right, let's get into box office. So this movie had a budget of $10 million, and unfortunately, it only made a little over $7 million worldwide. Remember, I think I told Jackie that me and Lil Raj in the next few episodes
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have beef. And this is what Lil Raj said. He gave the film a rare no star rating, calling it jaw-droppingly bad and stupid, a movie so misconceived I wondered why anyone involved would wanted to make it. Ebert included the film on his most hated list. His little
I saw that.
sidekick, Gene Siskel, also applied a zero-star rating to the movie. He described it as an embarrassing comedy, said that Martin Landau was looking very uncomfortable in a ridiculous role in it, and said that the two women play into shameless stereotypes in a film without a single laugh. My guess is that African Americans will be offended by the movie and whites will be embarrassed. The movie will bring us all together, I imagine, in paralyzing boredom.
Dang.
Now I'm pulling out my soapbox, getting on top, and I am sticking my middle fingers to both of these despicable white men and telling them to shut the fuck up because what we're not going to do is speak for Black people
Mm-hmm.
about how they should feel.
Hmm.
And there's so many things I want to break down in here. This movie was written by a Black woman, directed by a Black man, and they had two Black women starring. Very rare,
Mm-hmm.
especially at this time, for that to happen. And to just be in a comedy. Like, you don't really get to see a whole lot of Black female, just pure comedies that aren't like having to deal with love interest and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yes, these girls had love interest, but it wasn't like the main storyline. That's one thing. What these girls were showcasing is that, Black people are not a monolith. There are various versions of different kinds of people. There was a lot of people that related to these two characters. They had a lot of heart. And I just want to know where Siskel thought whites will be embarrassed. First of all, who the fuck cares? Embarrassed about what? Exactly.
This came out in a time of early Adam Sandler. If anything, we were going to be embarrassed by Going Overboard. We're not going to be embarrassed by Martin Landau living out his last days, enjoying himself. Like,
I
what the fuck?
what what this did, like, I think a lot of Black people had a lot to say about this movie back then. There was, some questions about because Black people were fighting so hard to be seen in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie takes some of those tropes and stereotypes and gives it heart,
Yeah.
showing that, yes, there are people who a different way, wear their hair a different way. The things that Black women, especially in the 90s, those hairstyles, iconic. Like it was deemed ghetto, long nails, ghetto. Look at where we are right now, where we
Mm-hmm.
have white women, every other culture wearing extremely long nails, and now
Hmm.
they're like they can be deemed professional or they're fine. Before it was ghetto. This is trend-setting shit right here. Like
Yeah.
everything.
Even
I
though I hadn't seen the movie, I knew exactly what the movie was. I knew who
right.
was in it. Like, and then I just pulled up Rotten Tomatoes, and obviously the tomato meter is 15% because most of the critics are, but the popcorn meter is 67%. So there is an audience for this movie, and it's just really sad that it didn't get the critic appreciation for what it was trying to do at the time.
The one of the actors, I saw an interview with him recently, and he was talking about for the longest time, he hated doing the movie. He thought it was really silly and goofy and whatever. That could probably be some misogyny going on for him as well. But he said that's the most recognizable movie that he's always getting people saying, I loved BAPS. And so he took time to rewatch it now with fresh eyes and realized, he's like, I get it now. And I think a lot of people are having that kind of awareness that this movie was way ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
The writer of this movie, and we'll get into that, also did not enjoy the outcome of this film
Hmm.
because it didn't she felt like the words that she put down did not translate. So we'll get into that. But I do want to read this review from 2018. Annie Cohen of Refinery 29 called the film a black cult classic and said the film deserved better than its 13% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Cohen said the fact that the film had such a lasting impact proves that the film spoke to its audience. Because the idea is that film should represent various people.
Mm-hmm.
Let people have their little niches, and that's totally fine. Everything doesn't have to be for you.
Yeah.
Just like Life Aquatic, that shit ain't for me. That's okay. That's okay. Just don't watch it. It's not for you. This movie was
Hmm.
not for Roger and Cisco.
Yeah.
Pissed me off. I was so mad when I read this.
Sorry, I'm always like, I'm never gonna go. People will tell me like, oh, it has this on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go see it. I'm gonna go see it, and I don't need them to tell me anything. So
Out Cold
it's,
has like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. One of my favorite
And
movies.
another movie. It's not for me, but
Yeah.
that's okay. It's all right. I really wished I didn't have to watch it, but what
We
I
all
do
make
for the podcast.
sacrifices.
Right.
it's out there for someone. I'm glad they're enjoying it.
It's me. Hi, I'm someone. But before we get into the cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
Hey, it's John Francois.
Hola, y'all. I'm AJ Vandertunt.
And have you ever licked something and thought, that's delicious? Well, that's us. We're the Delicious Recap.
We're putting our tongues on all kinds of media.
Family Matters, we're putting our tongue on 9 years worth of content that is sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but you know what? All around, it's childhood lovely goodness that is worth a taste.
It really is. I wonder what a snort would taste like.
It tastes like mango. We're recapping Family Matters from beginning to end. I mean, we've done season 1. We're currently on season 2 as we're recording this. We interview cast and crew from the show. We interview like-minded 90s loving podcasters. Come join us, the Delicious Recap, wherever you get your podcasts.
So, cast and crew. This was Halle Berry's first leading role in a comedy. Nailed it.
Yeah.
So
She,
good.
like, so many people who said that they were on the set or who did this movie with her said she was just so down to earth. Some of the critics that wrote stuff about this movie talked about it was a waste to have her in this. It was a waste because she's so beautiful. How did they? And I was just like, she is an actress.
Yeah.
What are you talking? Why? What waste and what? She was hilarious, and the physical comedy
Yes.
that she did, her and Natalie were so good together.
Hmm.
That bidet scene, like, work it. I believe you are slip sliding all over that bathroom. And the
Yeah.
way they're like propping each other up against the wall
Uh-huh.
to try and get to the intercom, like,
My back, girl, that's my
masterful.
back.
How do they say they didn't laugh? I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natalie Desselle's first leading role. This was right after her film debut in Set It Off, which came out a year earlier. And Jackie, the very next year, she was in your movie, How to Be a Player, which was also directed by Robert Townsend. Which I just want to just take a moment. There's just so many icons involved in this movie, but Robert Townsend, like, we wouldn't have as many the black directors we have without him. Like when he did Hollywood Shuffle and he self like funded that movie and directed it, that opened the door for the Wayans brothers. That opened the door for so many other people. And I just love to see when he is attached to any of these movies. I thought he did a good job. It sucks that Buyer, I think is her name, didn't like what he did. I want to see the script to see how he messed it up. Like I want to hear why she was mad about it.
There are several cameos, like the artist Heavy D and professional basketball star Dennis Rodman. Also, my beloved LL Cool J shows up, and he's so nice to them. I'm like, oh, look at LL.
Keep licking them lips.
When I know we're not there, but that scene where every time these two see a celebrity, I said, "Oh, I know Jackie's like, this is Danielle."
Quit touching him.
But
He's a
I
person
wouldn't
too.
I wouldn't jump on them. Like she legit jumped on. I
Wrapped
was
her
like,
legs around them.
right.
Can you imagine just being on set and they're like, okay, we got LL to do this cameo. Just go for it. I'd be jumping in his arms too. Like 100%. She did the right thing.
What I love is that she says, "I know you got a wife at home, but if things don't work out," like
She was
dead.
respectful that he had a
Yes,
wife, but she was also keeping her options open just in case.
Right.
exactly.
Well, I know I said we're talking about icons. Another icon that's a part of this movie is Ruthie Carter. If you don't know, she won an Oscar for her costume designs in Black Panther, and she's done so many movies other than that. But she was the costume designer for this movie, and like you said, Jackie, like even though you haven't seen this movie, you see so many people like replicating these
Mhm.
outfits. They have their own life outside of just the movie itself. So
Yeah,
she killed it with making those costumes.
that's cool. I did not know that.
So let's jump into BAPS. We meet Nisi and Mickey. They both work at a diner. Mickey is the cook, Nisi's a waitress. They're best friends. They live together. Nisi really loves to do hair and be really creative with her hairstyles. And Mickey's down for a new hairdo whenever. You can tell like they're kind of really big personalities in this really dull, mundane life. And so they're trying to find their way out of like this dead end job. Their dream is to open up a salon slash restaurant.
I think that's the best idea ever because going to a black salon is especially back then,
Yes.
it's a whole day experience. I would love to eat while I am going through this process, you know? Like they had it separate, but I think they could have totally like have me under the dryer, have a table, a tray so I can eat while I'm going through
Hmm.
this thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buku money.
So Nisi really believes in like the spirit of three. So if something happens or is mentioned three times, she sees it as a sign. And so while she's working, she hears this open audition for Heavy D's music video on the radio. She gets home. Mickey sees an ad in a magazine and they see a commercial on the television. So she's like, someone's telling me I need to go to Beverly Hills. This is what I need to do because the prize is $10,000, which she wants to use to open up her salon. And Mickey is just ride or die. She's just like,
Hmm.
sure, let's get out of this apartment and let's just go. So they decide to head to Hollywood, but first, it's ladies' night. And so we need to go over to the Gold Tooth where cover is free.
I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
This movie came out in 97. And I think there is a white movie counterpart, sister movie that got a totally different feel, like the reaction
Mhm.
from critics totally different. But I think they're very much this like in line with each other, and that's Romeo and Michelle's high
I was
school
about to
reunion.
say
I
that.
was I was gonna say, is it Romeo and Michelle? Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was,
Tell me
yeah.
these two aren't like on the same path.
Yeah.
Very unique clothing, very unique like friendship pair,
Yeah.
speaking their own
Mhm.
language to each other. And they both want to open some sort of business at the end.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
even
just saying.
dancing in
There's even
both.
dancing. Yeah. Sorry,
Um,
it popped in my head, had to get.
so there is a really funny gag at the club because it's ladies' night and they're like, because they have no money, they're like, okay, let's go to ladies' night, it's free cover, and then we'll drink for free because the guys will buy us drinks. And so they're like flirting with these two guys. They order a round of drinks and it's like a stare down of like who's gonna crack and pay first, and the ladies are not budging. They're like, no, and the guys are like, well, you didn't have to pay cover, so we just figured you buy us beers. Also, $16 for 4 beers. Can we get back to that place?
Right.
Right. Like, woo, I wish it was that now.
I know. I'm like, that's one cocktail.
Yeah.
Or
Barely at this point. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
In a short glass.
And
This was the scene that I noticed. Mickey, I love when she puts on her big smile throughout the movie and she's just like you go, you smile big. I love it. So I love seeing her smile throughout the movie. That's where I first noticed it. I was like, I love her so much.
And I need to rewind just a little bit. As the ladies are walking home, their boyfriends were supposed to meet them and walk them home from work. They didn't show up, and so they kind of have a fight on the street. And Nisi calls her boyfriend out for not having ambition and drive. He wants to open up a limousine company or a taxi company, but doesn't have a driver's license. She's like, "What the fuck, man? Like, get it together." So that's why in the club they're flirting with these other guys. Those guys leave because no one pays for the hurricanes. And then the boyfriends walk in. And so it's the whole thing over again where that poor bartender just keeps pulling out hurricanes and then
Uh-huh.
And
putting them back in.
they say to him, "Oh, they're good for it. They're good for it." No, they're not. They're just
No.
y'all should have known your men were just as broke as y'all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I did like we didn't get that gag just once. We got it.
Yeah. And the guys doubled down. They also meant they're like, you guys got in for free. It's ladies' night. You can pay.
So that kind of reaffirms that Nisi and Mickey just need to do something different. They need a change. And so they
Yeah.
head to LA, but they have their best hair for the airplane flight.
I This like brought back so many memories because I totally forgot that like we didn't have movie screens in the 90s behind each chair like we do now. It would be one screen, one in-flight movie, and you're watching it. Like sometimes they would have different monitors in different rows, but
Yeah.
like most likely you're getting that one in the front. And their hair was so high and big that it was blocking the monitor. But at least they didn't like argue when people were like, "Bitch, we can't see."
Yeah, they just slumped down in
Scooted
their
down.
seats.
Yeah.
And I love how she like turns at one point and like her hair pokes the guy
Pokes
sitting
that
next
guy.
to her in the eye, and he's just like, just any other seat, please.
And then the flight attendant is the lady, she was on Mad TV.
Yes, she
Um,
was.
Deborah Nelson or something like
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh, I remember you.
I I love that Nisi is a really good hairstylist and like she does Mickey's hair. That one hairstyle where it's two ponytails and there's like all the curls and stuff like that. I was like, I can hear the crunch from the hairspray with that one.
Yes.
But they were super cute. Like, I would totally wear that right now.
Yeah, it was really, really cute. I kind of wish she didn't leave long pieces. I would have liked a more cohesive everything curled, but other than that, so cute. So now we're in LA. They have exactly enough money for one night at a motel. So they got to get in, get out. And Nisi is convinced she's going to walk in. Heavy D's going to be like, yes. And then that's going to be it.
When she steps out of line, this scene, of course, is iconic. And she makes this noise. She's like it's not even music. And she's
So, Danielle, you won't get this reference until the end of the year when you finally watch Emperor's New Groove. But there is a scene in it where Kronk is humming a little tune to himself while he's doing something. And the voiceover, which is Cusco, goes, is he singing his own theme music? And that's exactly what I thought when Nisi was dancing. I'm like, she's singing her own theme music.
Yes.
It was something.
Just like right in the back of the hood, like,
and like just so Delulu, like I've got this in the bag. And what I love the most about this, it's not just that Nisi thinks she has it in the bag. It's the fact that Mickey 100% is down for her best bestie. Like,
booyah!
That's my best friend.
We got this. Booyah.
I love that blind
optimism.
Just support. Just pure, like, that is the official ride or die.
Yes.
And I don't know if Mickey really believes that Nisi could dance, or she just like, that's my dog, like, whatever. Yeah. Oh, God.
I think she mentions it. So I thought she mentioned it like, I thought she had mentioned like, you don't even dance. And she's like, yes, I do. But in the end, I guess she was like, I'm going to back her up no matter what. I got you.
I love that. I love that. And as they're in line doing that, this Rico Suave dude, Antonio, like comes out of nowhere. Like, these girls are not suspicious of this at all. He's like, I have this great offer for you. And they're like, and they go with it. Yeah, sure.
Right.
Like, it's a music video back at my house and we'll pay you $10,000.
Like,
there were no red flags, no like maybe we're gonna get murdered.
They almost got pulled into the sex trafficking. That's what it felt like. But
she had passion and a dream.
Right.
So they take them to this rich man's house in Beverly Hills, and they meet who's the nephew guy?
Isaac.
I don't know. Isaac. They meet Isaac, and he tells them that he's got a sick uncle who's dying, and he only has a little bit of time, and that there was this woman that worked for him named Lily that he wants them to pretend that they're Lily's granddaughter. Well, actually, he doesn't say both of them. He's just really talking to Nisi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially. But that he wants them to like pretend, and then he'll pay them. And again, they don't find any of this suspicious, and they're like, let's do it.
Yeah. So that's where and Nisi isn't quite on board at first. Mickey really has to hype her up and be like, girl, we're getting money for this. Just fucking do it. So even off the bat, like you can see Nisi is just really good-hearted. She doesn't want to have to lie to this old man, and she's kind of conflicted about her goals versus how to accomplish her goals.
I love how she was on the plane too with like I'm trying to learn about manners. Like we're going to Beverly Hills. And then before they like ring the doorbell, she's like, okay, when they ask us, how are you? Living large
and church. I die every time I see that scene.
But it's great. Like I felt like, man, if I was thrown in a mansion in Beverly, my first thing is like when I see a butler, oh, that's Alfred. Like,
Yes. And
that's totally what I would do. This is like, I'm gonna be a fish out of water. Like, they're just trying to figure it out.
and that they are introduced to Donald Blakemore there.
Side note, we totally forgot to mention that Bernie Mac was in the very first
Yes.
scene
The
as their
boss,
boss, Mr. Johnson.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to him and to Natalie, who died in 2020, which is so sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did kind of a deep dive when I found out that she passed, and it just seemed like she was beloved by the acting community, and
Yeah.
everyone had really heartfelt things to say about her when she passed. So we meet Mr. Blakemore, but he's kind of taken off guard and like is very like
He's upset because like
yeah.
he just surprise Isaac just
yeah,
surprises him with these women, and he's like, what the hell? But he's
Yeah.
still nice to them. Like he doesn't
yeah.
try to kick them out or anything like that.
Yeah. And then we get the they're so rich they got 2 toilets scene.
Yes, so they meet the butler who is Mr.
Manly.
Manley, and they keep calling him Alfred. And so he takes them to a room, and then in the room there's the bathroom. So they try to use the bathroom and they don't know about the bidet, and chaos ensues.
It's so good.
I
Like,
love how
Yeah.
they're like, that one's for the number two and that one's for the number one.
and then they both sit on it when it's shooting water, and they both have a similar to reaction to what I had when I first used a bidet. Like, it was so good. And I do really love that you're on my back.
Yeah, the
Girl,
physical
look, bye-bye.
comedy in this scene, and I have to give props to Halle Berry and to Natalie that they like really went for it, but
Yeah.
especially Halle. And I love that she has never talked bad about this movie. I mean, she got a hard time for this and Catwoman. Catwoman, she's like, I get it, it was trash, but she loves this movie. She has always spoken up for it, and I think she's happy to see like people really it's a beloved film and
Yeah.
it's not as hated as
Yeah.
she felt originally.
I think I saw too that she filmed this during her divorce from David Justice. And she said it really lifted up her spirits, like being on that set and just having fun. So
Yeah. I was
do what you
really
got to
sad
do.
when they divorced, and then even sadder to find out like that David Justice was a shitty guy because I was obsessed with David Justice. I don't even like baseball, and I was going to baseball games for David Justice.
Oh, Danielle.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
So I think the next scene is dinner, and
Mhm.
they get the saddest, palest chicken put in front of them, and Mickey's immediately like, the fuck is this? Like,
Mhm.
this is why you're dying, is because you have no flavor. And she goes to the kitchen and she's like, I'm gonna cook for you. And she cooks like an amazing soul food
Yes.
spread. And it just like instantly turns his spirits around. Like, you can tell the people around him, notably Isaac, have kind of just been subduing him and just waiting for him to die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it not trying to bring any joy to his life at all.
Look, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna eat all the good food.
Yeah, like
You
what's
know?
the
Right.
point now in making him eat broccoli and chicken breast? Like,
Right.
order the man a pizza. He
Right.
deserves it.
Exactly.
So the girls and Mr. Blakemore start to develop a friendship. They're hanging out and they're kind of opening up to him, and he has gotten color back in his cheeks and like is as lively as he has been in a while. And at the same time, like the help seems to notice too that there's been a change, and he's up and out of bed and moving and in the pool in his 1940s polo jersey. But he has that spark back. And so they're really happy to see that. What is happening behind the scenes is we have Antonio, who is the guy that first approached the girls. Somehow he's involved in this scheme, but he like woos Mickey.
The fact that
Hmm.
like off off the rip, these two are like a thing. The
Yeah.
scene where Mickey and Nisi are in the bed. And what I love is that there's like a million bedrooms in this house,
Yeah.
but the two of them decide that they're going to share the bedroom. So they're in the bed, they're talking about dreams and life and everything that's happening. And then here comes Antonio, and him and Mickey look like they're about to eat each other up,
Mhm.
essentially. And I love that Nisi gets up in the bed and is just watching, like, what's going on over there? Like,
What are you
and
guys gonna do?
right. And then Mickey said, I told you to go take a cold shower. Like, I I just love it. And then I also love that Mickey really she does some dumb stuff that I'm like, come on, girl. But also she sets boundaries when
Mhm.
Antonio starts to try to take his pants off at one point. I don't know if it's this scene, but another scene.
Mhm.
He's like, and she's like, "Oh, you better put a ring on this finger."
Hmm.
Oh man,
And
love it.
that leads to him leading her to a safe. He has gloves on, Mickey. Obviously, he does not want to get caught doing something, but she believes that he just has a ring in his safe to give her all of a sudden. And then he can't get the safe open. So she's like, well, let me try it. And bare hands, the safe. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Your prints are all over this now.
She has not really thought this through.
No.
And so he says it's okay because he says Mr. Blakemore gave him the code
Hmm.
and he's like, I'll talk to him tomorrow or whatever. So then she's like, they part ways and she goes upstairs. But in the middle of the night, they hear like something is going on. There's a scuffle. And it turns out that Mr. Manley I guess he heard something too, so he comes downstairs and it looks like a robber is there and knocks him out. And then the girls come downstairs, and I love this scene because they don't fuck with the wrong ones. And they're talking about how Mike Tyson would hit somebody. And so they just keep going back and forth, knocking Antonio on his ass. They pull the mask off and realize it's him. And then Isaac comes out of his bedroom and he's like, what's going on? And so Antonio doesn't even try to play it cool. He's like, oh, we can still do our plan though. And Isaac's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he tries to blame Mickey and saying that she was trying to rob the safe, but Manly actually stands up for her and says it wasn't her.
Mm-hmm.
And so Isaac cuts his losses because he's like, I'm not getting cut up in this. And they end up getting rid of Antonio. Yeah, he didn't really think through his plan very well and didn't realize that
No.
Isaac was using him. I wonder if
Yeah.
they had a thing together.
Oh, maybe.
I'm just curious. We see a phone call when I think the girls are in the pool that
Hmm.
Isaac is talking to someone we don't know who it is.
I always
So,
assumed it
yeah.
was Antonio.
I mean, we know that, but like the way I just meant like the way
Oh.
that he was talking to him, you couldn't tell if it was like a girlfriend or just a partner. Like it
Um.
was real sus. Just saying.
Yeah.
Hmm. Plot thickens.
And then after that, what I don't remember if it's they.
Well, it seems like Mr. Blakemore is having like good days and bad days. Some days he's like up and lively, and then other days he's just asleep all day. So
Yeah,
they kind of know the end is coming near, but the girls do really enjoy Mr. Blakemore. And so, like, in
he
the
takes him on a.
pool, yeah,
Hmm.
in the pool, Mickey gets her hair wet. And so
Hmm.
he's like, And I love how Nisi's just like, I told her to
Wear a
Wear
skin
a
cap.
cap.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that scene so much because let me tell you, nothing is more. I felt that. Okay. And
Being
I
your friend this long, I felt that. I have been around enough times and yelled at enough times.
like, I
Don't
can't
get
get
my hair wet. I know the rules and I know the repercussions for getting your hair wet.
man, those dumbass white boys from high school not respecting the boundaries,
Mm-mm.
always trying to pretend they're gonna throw me in the pool. I think it happened once. One dude threw me in the pool and thought that shit was funny. I wailed on his ass. I just got my relaxer and you threw me in a pool. Dead.
No, sir.
If you want hands immediately, touch a black woman's hair and see if you live
Yep.
or get their hair wet.
So Mr. Blakemore's like, no problem. Like, let's book a little salon trip. We'll take her, get her hair done, and then let's do a little shopping spree. Why don't we, ladies? And they're like, say less.
I
I
love this
love this scene.
montage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Love a good shopping scene, especially when you know reparations is happening because a white man is paying for it. I love to see it. It made the scene even
And
better.
that's what I don't get about Roger Ebert's comments is that, like, I found nothing cringy or embarrassing about the montage where he's like having fun trying on clothes and stuff. It doesn't seem awkward. Like, it could very well have gone super awkward white man dancing around, but it doesn't. It seems like he's enjoying himself.
You know what the funny thing is? If this movie had been made by white people, it would have had like a totally different spin, and I bet they would have loved it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Because we've seen versions of this made by like a white producer, white writer, whatever. And instead of it being a call in for the community, it's like making fun of a culture that you don't understand.
What's the one with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah?
Bringing Down the House. Now that's a black classic.
Okay. I don't remember enough about it. I'm just trying to think of like
The old lady in that movie who was racist, who made that, she's like, my mammy used to sing me that song. And that scene, she died in real life. And I'm literally seeing black creators on TikTok and Instagram talking about really loved her and bringing down the house. Like, this woman is like a BAFTA winning or nominated actress, and black people are like, man, she was great in bringing down the house because it's certified gold in a black household. I watched that the other day with my grandma. I couldn't wait for us to do it on the podcast. Nana
Aw.
was rolling. A good ass movie. I can't wait for us to do that one.
So we see kind of the facade crumble on Isaac. We know that he's scheming to get granddaddy's money and he's trying to frame Nisi and Mickey as befriending this old white man to get his money and his jewels and just kind of rob him blind before he dies. And so Isaac is stalking them while they're on their little shopping spree, takes pictures, which he claims is the proof he needs.
That he's senile because he's let
Yeah.
these black women come live with him and they're spending all his money. He's trying to essentially, like, if what I don't understand is, this, you're his only heir, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the money's coming to you. There was no need for you to do this.
No, none.
Like, I would have just lived in this fancy mansion and just waited that shit out. Like, what is the problem? He dug his own grave.
Yeah.
So that's when we
most.
meet Troy Byer, the actress. She plays Tracy, who's the lawyer. So we see this woman come in and she introduces herself to Mickey and Nisi as the lawyer. And essentially, now that all of this has happened, because the lawyer receives the photos, Mr. Blakemore,
Blakemore.
Mr. Blakemore is weary of people and doesn't know who to like. He's trying to see who to trust, essentially. So he gives the girls two checks, I think $50,000 each,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And at this point, they have become so fond of him, they rip up the check. They're like, we're not in it for money. But he does ask them if Isaac offered any money to them, and they lie and say no. And all is good, after this scene.
Because
And
if I'm remembering correctly, he still doesn't know that Holly Berry, like, she's not Lily's granddaughter. Like, he's still thinking that, right?
we as
It
the
hasn't,
audience are
Yes.
thinking that, yes, it's still perceived that way. Yes.
Yeah.
What were you going to say,
Okay.
Jackie? Sorry.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. So the walls start crumbling around Isaac. He's being exposed for the shyster that he is. And they Mr. Blakemore's having more like sleepy days where they can't wake him up and stuff. So they kind of know the end is imminent. And so they kind of have a last hurrah. They go out dancing. He's having a grand old time. He gets a little winded, but it's fine.
The soundtrack to this movie is fire, by the way.
Yes.
I was like dancing myself when they were playing that song. I
I
was like, oh
love that
yeah.
song.
I'm like bringing me back to eighth grade dance. I was
Go
like,
left, right, left,
right.
right.
Ah, good times. But poor Mr. Blakemore did a little too much. He was out there having a good old time and he gets a little dizzy.
Mhm.
So they decide to call it a night and they go back. And it's super cute because slowly but surely, what's his
Manny,
name again?
Manly,
I'm
Manny,
just gonna
the
call
butler.
him Alfred.
Alfred.
Alfred
Mhm.
is slowly falling for the girls too. Like you could see he has a soft spot for them because he cares about Mr. Blakemore so much that it's nice to see him happy. And I think before they even go dancing, they go to dinner, and this is when all the celebrity sightings happen and the
Yes.
girls go crazy. I love how they hold one of the guys hostage and they're like, "Sing me that song." I like they won't let him leave till he sings a song.
Did you feel that in your jellies, Danielle?
I was dying laughing at that scene. And I love that they're like, okay, we've gone to this she restaurant, but like we could have had something better. Mickey could have whipped something way better than this food.
Mhm.
So yeah, then they go dancing, then they get back to the house, and when they get back to the house, unfortunately, Mr. Blakemore takes a turn. He's not doing well, and they have to call the ambulance and take him to the hospital. And when they get to the hospital, he only has like enough energy to not say much, but this is when Nisi decides to confess and he stops her and then he dies. I don't know how in my mind I forgot that he died in this movie. And I was like, oh my God, I felt so sad. It kind of threw me off. I don't know, maybe it was traumatic when I saw it when I was younger and I blocked it.
I got a little choked up when I
Yeah.
watched it again because you just saw like how close they were getting. And then when she even tells Mickey, like, we gotta be honest, like we gotta tell him, and she's like, no, I'm just gonna write him a letter. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then she's at the hospital trying like, I need to tell you, and he's just like, no. And yeah, I was like, oh.
Oh, and we totally missed that. At one point, Nisi was like in the middle of the night, one of the nights, she was having like an argument with her boyfriend and kind of ropes in Alfred to be in the mess with her. And secretly they send for him and also Mickey's boyfriend. So they both come. I
Mhm.
love that he finally got a haircut because, girl, that hair was giving pimp daddy status.
I
Mhm.
mean, even Nisi called him out on it. So, and she knows hair, so
Right. It's
Yes,
time to cut that baby.
but
It's
yeah.
bad.
when they did like the slow pan from his feet up and they're playing their song and you're just like, oh,
He looked
okay.
so much better. Yeah. So they were already there. So now Mr. Blakemore is dead. And so Isaac is living on cloud. He's like on cloud 9, and I guess he must have bought them a plane ticket first class to get them the hell out. Because he did
Mhm.
try to give them a check at the hospital and they
Oh
ripped it up.
yeah.
Mhm.
He was in for a world of hurt. Now, in reality, I can't imagine that he would give up so quickly. Like, I could imagine that this money and everything would have been tied up into court for a long time because
Yeah.
I just don't see him folding that quickly
Right.
and trying to say that his uncle was not in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Blakemore leaves them all that money. I'm like, damn, where is my old white man who thinks I'm their grandpa?
I mean, to this day, I've wanted to know because you see them react and then you see Manly, he gets like bug-eyed and you're like, okay, he left Manly something. And I'm
Yeah.
always like, "Okay, what did he leave him? And how much did he leave him the house? What did he
Right,
leave?" And then when they show her and she's looking at Isaac, I'm like trying to read her lips and I'm like, is
right,
she saying, and Isaac, you don't get shit. Like, what is she
right.
saying? I
Yeah, and
know he's not getting anything.
It was an interesting choice not for her to read the
right,
will on camera. Like I could see like doing one of those things where it's kind of like as soon as she starts talking and like starts to say the number, like it like gets ringy in their ears because it's like so
Mhm.
much money. I could get that for them, but then the rest of it. And yeah, it's kind of not satisfying because I want to hear what the fuck Isaac does not get. Like
I wonder if the uncle. I feel like the uncle left him something, but not as much, and
$1.
probably yeah, like it's something. But what I love the most is at the end when we are seeing them now opening their their restaurant slash hair salon that Alfred is still cool with, like he is down
Yeah.
with them, helping. It's almost like they went into business with him, so I love that.
Mhm.
But tell me y'all didn't laugh when you saw that their boyfriend started their own business with a pager.
Page
And
a
I
cab, rent a cab service.
Right. So they were like Uber before Uber. And I was like, how long did this business last? Because pagers were gone like the next
Right?
year.
I
Yeah.
immediately thought that too. I was like, oh man, I don't, how long did that last?
But they fulfill their dreams. They name the establishment Lily's
Aw.
Lily's
after
bees.
Mr. Blakemore's love. And then they find out from the attorney that um, Mr. Blakemore knew all along that they weren't descendants of Lily, that Lily had had no children. So, like, rest assured, he passed away knowing full well exactly who you were, and he was still giving you this money because you had befriended him
Because reparations.
and reparations. And that is BAPS.
Yes. All right. So Troy Byer, we talked about that
Hmm.
one of the reasons she wrote this film was because, she'd been an actress for a long time and she just felt like wasn't seeing roles or she wasn't getting the roles that she wanted. So she wrote this film. But she did say that she was disappointed by the final cut of the film and believed that her words had not honestly made it onto the screen. She explained that this was the first time Robert Townsend had directed a film that he had not written. She used her earnings from this film to direct her first film. So she did get another movie after. I forgot what it's called. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wonder if she still feels that strongly today after,
Right.
but
Or I am curious, like you said, Danielle, to like hear how she envisioned it to be, or
right,
like, will she ever make maybe
right.
her version of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine it being like it is a very female centric movie, and to not be directed by a female and have even what little male voice spin on it maybe kind of altered the intention of some of the scenes.
Yeah, true. What else do we got?
In 2020, playwright and producer Jacarius Johnson adapted the film into a theatrical play. Uh, Natalie Desselle Reid, who portrays Mickey in the film, was cast as Mickey and prepared to play the role until the 2020 pandemic that caused everything to shut down. And then Natalie passed away in December of 2020. In 2023, Johnson announced that BAPS is back in production on stage, this time starring Angela White, aka Black China, as Nisi, and Anaya Lamas as Mickey.
Yeah, I looked to see what Natalie passed away from, and she passed away from colon cancer,
Mhm.
which,
mm,
by the way, PSA,
We're all of
you,
an
I,
age.
well, I think they moved to age, I think it's 45 now,
Mhm.
but I
mhm.
believe they still say that maybe even younger, you should get some sort of screening because it's growing as one of the number one um, killers.
Mhm.
Colon cancer is rough. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, get checked. Everybody,
Yes.
get checked.
Get your booty hole checked.
Um,
Yes.
like I said before, Halle Berry is like constantly talking about Natalie, and when the movie has its anniversary every year, she will like post on Instagram. She very much loves this movie, and it's cool to see some of the interviews of her with Natalie from back then. So she said Natalie represented actual Black women, not what Black women are perceived to be. For that, she was often underrated, passed over, deprived of the platform she truly deserved. But her light continues to shine through the people who grew up watching her, the people who knew her best, and those of us who loved her. Oh,
So sweet.
what else?
Doja Cat and Rico Nasty wore similarly styled BAPS costumes for their video Tia Tamara.
And that's just
Yes.
showing how it's such a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
if you love BAPS as much as we do, if you hate it, keep it to yourself. I don't want you. But if you but if you love it or you have commentary or questions, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Threads, Blue Sky at No More Late Fees. We'd love to hear from you. All right, Stephanie. Today's ratings,
My
present day
today's
ratings.
rating. I'm still probably gonna go 5 day rental. It's a fun watch, and I love these two ladies, and I still like quote this movie. There's times I'll use the whole and a mozzarella and fettuccine to you too. Like I just, yeah, I love a lot of Mickey's lines, and it's just, yeah, it's always a fun watch. So 5 day rental.
Jackie?
Hear me out. I'm waffling,
Okay.
and that's because I don't have the nostalgia attached to this movie. And I do feel like it had a lot of heart and a lot of comedy, but there were also moments where I'm like, this scene really didn't need to be like it felt like a lot of filler, and it's a short movie to begin with. I think we could have seen a lot more dialogue between the girls and the old man, Mr. Blakemore. I just felt I wanted more that I
Yeah.
didn't get. I wanted more character development and more like heartfelt, happy scenes rather than like lots of montages or like going out to dinner, things like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I am waffling between a 5 and a 2. I'm going to go 5, but I like really it's like a 3 day rental. Like, I don't think I'll probably seek it out to put it on because I don't have that nostalgia attached. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a comfort movie for me, but I appreciate what it was trying to do.
I
Mhm.
think it's still a 5-day rental for me. I probably will actually buy it eventually because it's just good to have, but I don't know if I'll watch it like every day, but it does give me a laugh and it
Mhm.
was a joyful watch for sure.
Jackie, maybe the Troy Bayer version will give us more
Yeah.
dialogue.
Maybe,
And that's
yeah.
probably what she meant that
Hmm.
yeah.
I felt like I either needed more dialogue or I needed more slapstick within like the heartfelt moments. Like it just felt like it was missing just something.
Hear you. I think I thought that too, rewatching it. There were some scenes that I thought, oh, we probably didn't need this,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
there
Or
could
like
have
some scenes
been.
were just like a little too drawn out. And I'm like, we could have, and then like gotten more. More pool.
Yeah.
Something.
This movie just made me want for more Black female-led
Yes.
comedies. I'm really excited to watch one of those days, the new Issa Rae produced film with Keke Palmer and SZA. Now, Shayla said she saw it and she just felt like it was a movie for young women, like for like young
The
girls.
youths.
Yeah.
The
It's
youths.
definitely like a female version of Friday,
Mhm.
essentially, kind of like a day in the life, crazy slapstick stuff. But this movie makes me want more of that and how we don't really have a lot of those. Again,
Mhm.
it's either dramas or romantic comedies. There are
Mhm.
girlfriend movies, like
Yeah.
where there's a group of girlfriends, but not like slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Again, Regina, give me that. Like Girls Trip, something like
Yes.
Girls Trip,
That's
Yes.
you
exactly
know?
what I was thinking is like the scene where she was talking about in my booty hole like over and over again in the airport. I was fucking dying. Like I need more of that, like lowbrow, slapsticky, just fun,
Yeah.
women empowering comedies.
Yeah.
If you have opinions about BAPS or anything else you want to talk to us about, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters, hem us at the threads, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we head to Hollywood with Scream 3.
It's a ride.
Yeah.
And Steph, it was so great to see you. Thank you for joining us. And we just have a blast anytime you're on.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course. Thanks, y'all.
And as always, be kind and rewind.